What's up everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Filmmaking and Cinematography podcast. I'm Alex and today we are diving into a fascinating topic, visual storytelling in different film genres. Let's see how to adapt the visual storytelling techniques for each type of film. So, each genre of film has its own unique style and convention. And as a filmmaker, it's crucial to understand how to adapt your visual style and visual storytelling techniques to fit the genre you're working in. So let's get started. Let's kick things off by discussing the importance of genre in filmmaking. The genre shapes audience's expectation and guides many of the creative decisions you make as a filmmaker, from the color palette to lighting to camera angles and composition. Each genre has its own visual language and helps tell the story in a way that resonates with the audience. Let's start with the drama genre. Drama films often focus on character development and emotional storytelling. The visuals in a drama film are typically realistic and grounded, with an emphasis on close-ups and medium shots to capture the nuanced performance of the actor. Lighting is usually naturalistic, and color palettes are often muted to reflect the seriousness of the themes or of the story. In a drama, composition play a key role in highlighting the emotional states of character. For instance, placing a character in the center of the frame can signify their importance, while off-center compositions can create a sense of imbalance or tension. The use of a shallow depth of field is common to draw attention to the character's face and expression, making the audience feel more connected to their emotions. Another very interesting technique that I very often use in a drama movie is how close you place the camera to the action. If you place the camera very close and shoot on a wide angle lens, this makes the viewer feel really connected and into the action. It makes the viewer feel the emotions of the character. Moreover, if we also focus on medium shots and close-ups, as said before. But if we put the camera further away, we leave the character alone, we leave the character in his own space, we leave him completely alone in his own room, and we let the viewer forget about that character. We show that there is no hope for that character anymore. Those are two various ways to show visual storytelling in a drama movie. Now let's talk about the horror genre. Horror films rely heavily on visual storytelling to create suspense and fear. Lighting is crucial in horror, with high contrast lighting, shadows and darkness being used to evoke a sense of dread and uncertainty. Colors are often desaturated or tinted with a green or blue to create a cold, unsettling atmosphere. Through such a color scheme, we show that something is not normal, something is abnormal, something is unnatural. Something is just weird. Camera angles and movement in horror films are designed to disorient and scare the audience. Low angle shots can make the antagonist appear more menacing, while high angle shots can make the protagonist seem vulnerable. Quick, jarring cuts and shaky camera movement can heighten the sense of chaos and fear. And don't forget the power of negative space in horror. Leaving parts of the frame empty can create anticipation and anxiety as the audience expects something to fill that space. Now let's jump onto another genre and let's go onto the action genre. Action films are all about energy, movement and excitement. The visuals are dynamic and often larger than life, with vibrant colors and high contrast lighting to make everything pop. Fast-paced editing and camera movements are essential to keep the audience on the edge of their seat. Wide shots are commonly used in action films to showcase stunts and choreography, while quick cuts and close-ups are used to emphasize impact and intensity. Tracking shots and handheld camera work can immerse the audience in the action, making them feel like they are a part of the scene. Slow motion is also a particular technique in action films, used to highlight key moments and add a dramatic effect, keeping the audience glued to the screen. A very interesting genre is comedy. Comedy is another genre of its own distinct visual style. Such films often use bright, saturated color and even lighting to create a cheerful and inviting atmosphere. The camera work in comedies is typically straightforward, with medium and wide angle being most common to capture physical humor and interactions between characters. It's a pretty easy to follow genre. Timing and pacing are crucial in comedy. Quick cuts can enhance the comedic theming, while longer takes can allow physical comedy to play out more naturally. Reaction shots are essential in comedy, capturing the character's response to a humorous situation and adding to the overall comedic effect. Visual gags and exaggerated emotions are often used to elicit laughs, so framing and composition should be designed to highlight these moments. Next up, let's focus on my absolute favorite film genre, so let's discuss science fiction. Sci-fi films often explore futuristic and otherworldly concepts, and the visuals play a big part in building these imaginating worlds. Sci-fi visuals are often characterized by sleek, high-tech aesthetics, with cool color palettes dominated by blues, grays and metallic tones. Lighting can be stark and clinical or eerie and otherworldly, depending on the setting and the mood. Special effects, some of the most important parts of the sci-fi genre, both practical and digital, are a staple in such films. Camera movements and angles can vary widely, from wide shots that showcase expansive futuristic landscapes to close-ups that reveal intricate details of technology. Sci-fi often blends elements of other genres, so you might see a mix of dramatic close-ups, action-packed wide shots, and horror-inspired lighting all in one film. Yeah, that's why it is my absolute favorite genre. And lastly, let's touch on a slight branch of the sci-fi genre, so let's talk about fantasy. Fantasy films transport audience to magical realms and often feature rich, vibrant color palettes and elaborate set design. Lighting in fantasy can be very stylized, with soft glows and powerful highlights to create a sense of magic and wonder. Fantasy films often use wide shots to showcase grand, fantastical landscapes and detailed close-ups to highlight magical elements and creatures. Camera movements are often smooth and sweeping to enhance the epic nature of the story. Practical effects, CGI and imaginating sets are used to create the immersive worlds that define the fantasy genre. So to wrap up, visual storytelling is a powerful tool that can be adapted to fit the unique demands of any genre. By understanding the visual conventions of different genres and experimenting with these techniques, you can create films that are not only visually stunning but also deeply engaging. So take your favorite genre and try experimenting with various visual storytelling techniques to enhance your own visual style. So that's all for today's episode of the Filmmaking and Cinematography podcast. I hope you found these insights into visual storytelling across genres helpful and inspiring. Remember, each genre offers its own set of visual tools and techniques, so don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for your story. And as said, always try to add a touch of your own visual styles. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, keep experimenting and stay creative. See you next time.